our building, and he knows that Mr. McClethy is always looking for any instruments to help make our band even bigger and better, and so he had 2 used trombones at home, and he said he wanted to donate them to our program.
Well, you tell him, the Board of Education, tell him, thank you.
Yes, we're planning on saying thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion for appoint board committee representative finance.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Dorothy Stewart, Angelicia Brown, and Gregory Myers as the Board Finance Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year.
Support. It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Dorothy Stewart, Angelicia Brown, and Gregory Myers as Board Finance Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
Ms. Stewart.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion to appoint board committee representative personnel.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Christine Thomas and Angelicia Brown as Board Personnel Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Christine Thomas and Angelicia Brown as Board Personnel Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year. Roll call.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
Ms. Stewart.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carried. Motion to appoint board committee representative for policy.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Mark Wildy, Christine Thomas, and Brenda Meadows as Board Policy Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Mark Wildy, Christine Thomas, and Brenda Meadows as Board Policy Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year. Roll call.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Ms. Stewart.
Aye.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion to appoint board committee representative for athletic council.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Don Garrett, Gregory Myers, Brenda Meadows as Athletics Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year. Support.
It's been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Don Garrett, Gregory Myers, and Brenda Meadows as Board Athletic Council representatives for the 2011 calendar year. Roll call.
Ms. Meadows.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Ms. Stewart.
Aye.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion to appoint board committee representatives, special projects.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education, did we miss the educational reform?
Yeah.
We need to do the educational reform committee first. Just say reform another one.
Okay. We can do this. Motion to appoint board committee representative, education reform.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Gregory Myers, Brenda Meadows, and Dorothy Stewart as Board Education Reform Committee representatives for 2011 calendar year.
Support. Who was the third one?
Dorothy Stewart.
Dorothy.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Gregory Myers, Brenda Meadows, and Dorothy Stewart as Board Education Reform Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year. Motion. Roll call.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
Ms. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Stewart.
Aye.
Ms. Meadows.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion to appoint board committee representative, special projects.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Christine Thomas and Don Garrett as Board Special Projects Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Christine Thomas and Don Garrett as Board Special Projects Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year. Roll call.
Ms. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Meadows.
Aye.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye, Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion to appoint board committee representative for technology.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Mark Wildy and Christine Thomas as Board Technology Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education appoint Mike Wildy and Christine Thomas as Board Technology Committee representatives for the 2011 calendar year. Roll call.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Ms. Stewart.
Aye.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
Ms. Meadows.
Aye.
Ms. Brown.
Aye.
I vote aye, Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion of approval of letter of understanding.
Mr. President, I move the Willow Run Board of Education approve the attached letter of understanding between Willow Run Education Association and Willow Run Community Schools as presented.
Support. It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education approve the attached letter of understanding between Willow Run Education Association and Willow Run Community Schools as presented. Discussion.
Was this voted on by the? Yes, the WREA members ratified it today. It passed, and it's part of the redesign reform plan.
Roll call.
Mr. Myers.
Aye.
Ms. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Stewart.
Aye.
Ms. Meadows.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye, Mr. President.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion of approval of New Tech Network contract.
Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Board of Education approve the attached New Tech Network contract in the amount of $450,000.
Support.
It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Board of Education approve the attached New Tech Network contract in the amount of $450,000. Discussion.
Are any of the funds being used out of Title I or out of the state?
If they're grant funded, if you look at the attachment, it shows
I see.
I just would like to mention that if you look at the Title I Combined Technical Assistance grant, that was a grant that will be filtered through the ISD, that actually the federal government filtered through to the Michigan Association of Intermediate School Association, and they were intrigued by our plan. So what they did was they wanted to talk with us, so they met with us in the conference room less than 2 weeks ago, and we had a team there. We had a lead teacher, a person from the ISD, myself, Penny Morgan, budget person, and we talked about the reform and redesigning of the high school, and it was, we talked about what things would fit in the budget, how we could forge forward with this and help the plan become viable through the reform and redesign. And they told us to submit the budget, and in less than a week they came back with we'll give you $142,000. At first we were thinking they were going to give us $40,000 to $80,000. They liked how we were thinking outside the box so much that they offered us $142,500. So we were pretty excited about that, because we know that we cannot rely on the SIG grant, and as I've been talking about throughout pretty much since we've been doing this since the summer, the Michigan hasn't been awarded the money just quite yet, but what's going to happen is they think that they're going to be awarded, and they'll only have enough to fund like 8 schools, and there's 2 tiers, Tier 1 and Tier 2. We're in Tier 2, and the state is pretty much telling us that 5 of the schools from Tier 1 will receive the money, which means that leaves 3 schools that will be in Tier 2 that could possibly get the money. So the whole thing is about never looking for money from the SIG, but other ways to fund it, because we truly believe in this model.
Good. Thank you. Roll call.